Good morning. As I half threatened during Tripp's video blog of Monday, I'm going to try to start reading some of my recent poems on Thursdays. As you can see, there's the typing monkey above me. This is my wife Beth's study, and this is her Apple eyesight that we're recording on. The first poem I'm going to read today is called Plaint in a Major Key, and the title comes from something some musician on the local classical station said about a viola da gamba composition. I have no idea what his name was or the composer or anything. But it has a epigraph from Lao Tzu, which is, "Without even leaving one's door, one can know the whole world." Plaint in a major key. The rumble of the night sounds even in the bright daylight of morning. Life blooms amid the 10,000 things, but does not bloom amid the 10,000 things. Shrivel-eyed, I wake up and tend to the one here and now, clamoring to be let out. Down with the gate, out with the boy, to the rooms of life's necessities, first to void and next to fill. But first I dress him and shod him, only then do we relieve, eat. The order is only order which is disorder. The only disorder is the disorder that is order. We usher ourselves, each in our own way, back down the way for various brushings, calmings, and other groomings. Each in our own way we urge the other toward some kind of growth, one to assume, the other to renounce, one to grow larger, the other to grow smaller, thereby growing larger. Words do not work, and when they do not, other words might. This makes more sense than it seems, works more often than it doesn't, except when it really doesn't. And then that disorder creeps back in. In 5 minutes, a different challenge. In 5 hours, a different one. 6 more hours, the one is rubbing eyes, untangled like a dragon, shucked and undone like an oyster. The night slowly rolls a bed, and the words form stories, form sleep, the sleep of the 10,000 things, the sleep that will echo the next day in the night's rumbling sounds, in the bright light of morning. The next poem is called Memory, and I think someone has mentioned here Mike. That's a reference to Mike Anakini, who is a good friend of mine finishing up his MFA at Iowa. Memory. I am reading Mary Oliver these days. Mike would laugh at me like I laughed at him when he was into Sharon Olds. And yet they both tease us toward memory, theirs, ours, iron stains upon the bedsheets, downpours over a quiet, dozing city. When my students ask me my favorite books, I reply with titles they've never heard. They are never impressed. Lying in bed with our son, I read Frank O'Hara's A True Account of Talking to the Sun at Fire Island, and realized it was about God. Lying in bed with our son, I realized I could not be much happier. The man he will become is a man I will love no matter who that man turns out to be. My wife is a woman I love no matter who she is. The music I love is whatever tunes the strings of my body's drum, tuba, pizzicato organ, and then sets my soul singing. My soul is singing at the thought of going back to Ann Arbor, even though no music's in it. Just a leisure sheet, numbers, dollars, and cents. And yet the wash of days and years and memory make me love all those who midwifed me through my highs and lows, my good and not so good times. I remember walking home down Detroit so many times to hear the jazz coming out of that one house at any and all hours. I remember dancing to Belle and Sebastian because there was no one else to dance with. I remember mornings apace and a throb. I remember pulling over to pee on the side of the road from Provincetown to Providence. a screaming ambulance fading in from the road's horizon and speeding past as I finished my business. I was so alone. I think I want to read one more poem, and it's called In Hebrew. I have a series of poems about Noah, and they're really about fatherhood. And this is in that spirit, in Hebrew, which we do not speak but do and always speak. Bilvi means to me or to myself, idiomatically in my heart, as in for your sake and not mine, in my heart. Across about 5 feet on the other side of the wall you sleep, and I am glad of the half day you sleep nearly every night after every day, afloat in this ark, our home. Bilvi, the impress of my lips on your forehead, you dozing after a few of the adventures of Seth, Enoch, Lamed. On the other side of the wall you sleep, and I am glad, Bilvi, for you. Well, I'll see you next